What's going on YouTube? Modeling that back at you with the first build update on my OS2U Kingfisher. So work tonight. I got the metal PE done here on the ring. Basically that'll go around the back of the engine. The one thing I do want to go ahead and note in the instructions that is backwards to what they show. If you notice, you have the slot, dot, solid, dot, 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 and then the solids. However, when you actually look at it, the only way that you could have orientated it in the proper direction is using this side, which, as you know, or may notice, does not have the little line insignias that it's calling out for to put the little fins on. So went ahead, thought about it for a little bit, and I knew trying to get these all lined up to begin with, just standing with that butt joint was going to be a big enough pain. I went ahead and said, you know what, I'm just going to have this be technically incorrect, with this one dot being on this side compared to there. Looking through the instructions, I don't believe that's going to cause me any problems. If it looks like it will inevitably, I do have little tiny drill bits. I'll just go ahead and drill out the other side and things like that, or try to figure something out at that point. Probably I'll just cut a tab off or something, but if I had to. But other than that, went ahead, moved on, and got the engine pretty much built up here, ready for kind of the first round of paint, getting steel on this one. The one thing I do want to note is around the ignition supply line here that would run around the front edge of the engine. The sprue gates that they used on the actual parts were enormously large for this ring. I get why they had to do it to an extent, but it made this already extremely fragile part even worse, and I actually broke it into 3 pieces. So had to carefully piece, I had the large piece, and then I had 2 small here on the end that I had to piece back together. So that's why you might see a little bit more glue marking and staining up through here. Test fitting this piece onto it, though, didn't have any problems at all. So the other thing I wanted to go ahead and note, for anybody wanting to build this in the future, on the tips of each of these, usually there's a little tiny peg that would go into a hole here on the top. As you can see, there's no holes. If I can get it to make sure it's in focus, there's no holes on the inside of these cylinder heads. So, or the valve covers here. So don't even mess with it. Just cut those little tabs off. That's the simplest way to go about it. And then when you come in to fit it, do this kind of quickly here on the fly for just a second, just to kind of show you. So you come in to fit this. You can then, once you get it locked in, push down, you can then carefully bend these around, dollop it with glue, and lock them into place that way. So that's the way I'm going to be doing it. Allows me also to detail up this section, paint it, do the chrome around for this ring, and then I'm going to go ahead and run individual little tiny wire up from the ring to the cylinders. Had the option to use the PE part. However, again, it's an actual, it's an actual wire. It's not flat metal. So I didn't like the way that would look. So that's why I'm opting to go with this way instead. Again, builder's choice as to however you want to build this. Back part here went together pretty straightforward. Again, did have trouble with this part here being extremely fragile. Broke on me in one spot, but was able to glue it back together. This is basically getting left without the exhaust tubes and things like that, just so that I can go through and get this painted up in its color before adding those. So the other thing I wanted to go ahead and note from the first episode is looking through the instructions with the decals and markings. Pretty much the only marking option that is accurate and would build an accurate replica is this aircraft here, which was from the cruiser U.S.S. Miami in 1945. There's multiple pictures of number 1. which Revell did a kit, a 48 scale kit of, with the number 1 here. And then also there's pictures of number 3 that exist out there. Took a while to try to find out what ship this came off of. But the biggest thing to note, definitely wrong year. I don't know who was in charge at Kitty Hawk with dealing with their instructions and markings and stuff like that, but they botched this whole thing up. They note on the one for the U.S.S. Philadelphia, the U.S.S. Pennsylvania, that it was from 1940, yet all of the markings on the wings and stuff like that are just the standard rounds without the red dots in the middle. That would be from 1943. Obviously, that one noting from 41. The one from Corpus Christi is the only other one that appears mostly accurate, and I say mostly accurate was because I was unable to find any pictures from Corpus Christi with the white numbers. It looked like what aircraft flew out of Corpus Christi all had black aircraft numbering. So, again, not trying to knock Kitty Hawk in some regards for it, but just know if you want to build an actual true replica of an existing aircraft, you can go with the one from the U.S.S. Miami out of the kit, which would be perfectly fine to do. Or as I'm going to do, I'm actually going to pick up a aftermarket decal set for this one. I'm going to save what ship that came from for a later reveal as we get later into the build and stuff like that. So, but yep, like I said, first night of the build is now in the books, and so far I'm liking the kit. The one other thing, again, just to kind of note, test fit, test fit, test fit. I cannot say that enough. Test fit the crap out of it, just to make sure everything does line up as you would expect. There was a lot of issues with flash in some really weird areas, especially with getting the pots together and stuff like that, where if I didn't test fit it, it would have caused me a lot more headaches. So just to hopefully save somebody some troubles in the future, like I said, test fit absolutely everything out, and that way you can make sure everything's good. So yeah, again, if you know anybody who likes this kind of content or would like this kind of content, definitely share the videos out. Like, comment, subscribe. Finishing up with the Elvira kit, it definitely improves some numbers and stuff like that. I'm going to try to get back to the 2 uploads a week just to kind of get things moving here going through November and in through December as well. So in either case, I will let you guys go. Have a good rest of your day, evening, or night, whatever when you happen to be watching this, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.